Alright, so on the back it says Nora is trying to figure out what happens when you multiply a given number by fractions that are less than, than, or equal to 1. Part A talks about Nora deciding to explore different products using 5/8 as one of the factors. Without multiplying, decide whether each of the following expressions is less than, or equal to 5/8. So this is asking us to use what we've already figured out doing the first three questions and to be able to make a decision about how big the answer is going to be without actually doing the work. So let's take this expression first. That's 5/8. That's going to be our base factor here. We're going to use 5/8 every time. 5/8, and we're going to multiply it by 3/3. 3/3 is the same as just 1. Any number times 1 is that number again. So 5/8 times 1 is going to be 5/8. It will be equal to 5/8. You are asked to write each expression in the correct category in the chart. So we have to write this expression. That's going to be 3/3 times 5/8. We have evaluated that and found out that it should be equal to 5/8. That one's totally done. We don't have to think about it again. And we have 4 more to do. The next one is 2/6 times 5/8. Maybe I'll use a unique color for each one of these. 2/6 times 5/8. So we have 5/8 as our base factor and 2/6. 2/6 is less than 1. What we've learned is that if you multiply a fraction by a factor that is less than 1, your product, the answer, will be less than what you started with. So that tells us everything we need to know right there. 2/6 times 5/8. The product will be less than 5/8 because 2/6 is less than 1. So we just write 2/6 times 5/8 right there in that category on the chart. And we're done with this. We don't have to think about it anymore. The next one is 9/9 times 5/8. And that's the exact same thinking as we had with the blue problem, the first one. 9/9 is equal to 1. Any number times 1 is that number again. So it will be equal to 5/8 when you're done. The answer is 5/8. You should write 9/9 times 5/8 in the correct category in the chart. And we'll just extend it right here. We don't have to think about this one anymore. We've only got 2 more to do. The next one is 5/8 times 6/4. 5/8 is the same every time. We don't even have to worry about that. Just look at 6/4 and ask yourself, is it greater than 1, equal to 1, or less than 1? And that will tell you which one of these categories to put it in. 6/4 is an improper fraction. It's top-heavy. The numerator is larger than the denominator. So that tells me already that it needs to go in this category on our chart right here. 6/4 times 5/8. 5/8 goes there because 6/4 is greater than 1. And we don't have to think about this one anymore. Final one. Let's see. 4/5 times 5/8. We look at the fraction 4/5 and we ask ourselves the same question again. Is 4/5 greater than 1, equal to 1, or less than 1? 4/5 is less than 1 whole, which means that the product of 4/5 times 5/8 will give us an answer that is smaller or less than 5/8. And that's all we really need to know to answer this question. We're going to put 4/5 times 5/8 in this category of our chart. And there we have written each expression in the correct category of the chart and evaluated all 5 of them based on what we've learned.